Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you an OP Shadowheart or Cleric build in Baldur's Gate 3. So, it's no surprise, Shadowheart's not the best when you start off with her, so we're going to give it a bit of a change here, and I'm going to talk you through this here. So she is a Cleric of Shar, but we're going to go through with the cantrips here. It's really whatever you prefer, since the cantrips can be changed later on, but we're gonna go with, I really like guidance because this helps out a lot, especially as you're going to be using this to help out in conversations as your main character. Resistance is pretty good, or thaumaturgy is good as well, but we're going to go with Sacred Flame and Resistance for our first three. Produce Flame can be nice too if you want to set things on fire, or if you're a Barrelmancer. Blade Ward can be useful at times, but we're going to start with those three. Light's nice as well in Act 2, but there's a lot of other things that we can do to help out with that, so we're going to go with those three. Now for domains, Life Domain I think is the absolute best, with Light Domain coming second. So there are some other ones that have some cool effects. She starts off as Trickery Domain, and that's not really what clerics are all about, so we're gonna go with Life Domain just because it increases the healing. You get Cure Wounds and Bless, and Bless is an amazing spell to have, even though we already got it there. But you get Disciple of Life, which gives you an increased +2 to the spell's level on its healing, so, or increases your health points equal to +2 of the spell's level, so that is really nice to have, as the extra healing is very useful at times. For ability points, we're gonna go, we want Wisdom to be the highest stat, as that's what you use for healing, so we're gonna have that around 17, and then Strength's a nice thing to have high as well. Dexterity to avoid getting hit too. Intelligence we can have at 8, Constitution to have extra health points, but we're just going to go with that there, as we can continue this with our gear. So we're going to go into leveling up Shadowheart now, or really any type of cleric, because this can apply to all clerics. Clerics are meant to heal, and even though the action economy in Baldur's Gate 3 is more so about dealing damage, it can be nice to have some heals when you're in a pinch. So for our first few spells, spells can be swapped out, so it's not a huge difference, but I like to have Command. Healing Word is good as well. It's kind of your main one. Guiding Bolt can be great for utility, and it's good for damage dealing as well, as the next attack roll is going to have advantage, which gives you 2 dice rolls per attack, so that's quite nice. We really like to have that. Inflict Wounds can be useful, as this is also going to remove the ability to get healing on that enemy, so that is a great choice as well. And actually no, it doesn't, it's just necrotic damage, but that's pretty much what we're going to roll with. You can also go with Shield of Faith there too. I recommend always having Guiding Bolt and Healing Word. Command can be really nice as well. Command Drop can help out in some encounters as well. Protection from Good and Evil is useful at certain times when you're facing against like skeletons or any type of fiend, but we're going to go with around just about that. So Create or Destroy Water can also be a nice thing if you're setting up like an electric mage, a wizard, or a sorcerer, but that'll be for level 2. Getting into level 3 here, we get to choose a couple more spells, and then we get more spell slots and level 2 spells, so that's really fun. Spiritual Weapon is one that I like, honestly, myself. The reason, because you can create another weapon that draws aggro, so that's going to help out if you have someone that's getting, like Gale for instance, gets hit all the time. Sometimes popping up a spiritual weapon gives the enemy something else to focus on, so we're going to go with that. Silence can also be a really nice spell to have too, for just protection. Hold Person is okay as well. Prayer of Healing too. This is one that you can use only outside of combat, so that's one thing to note. But it can be a useful spell to have. I'd rather just do a long rest or a short rest at that point, so we're not going to select that one. Protection from Poison, all these they're okay. They have their advantages at times, but I think having the Spiritual Weapon, taking out Protection of Good and Evil, maybe putting on Silence just for utility can be very useful. And it also makes you immune to thunder damage, so that's another nice thing there. So that'll be our level 3. Proceeding on to level 4. We're gonna get more cantrips here, so this one can really be whatever you feel like you need. Cantrips aren't huge. Light can be nice at times, especially as level 4 you're gonna be going into the Shadow Curse lands, but we're going to go with Produce Flame, because that's just a nice thing to have, the ability to create fire at times. Hold Person is okay. It holds the humanoid, and you can get a critical hit on them, but I feel like there's better spells to have. It really just depends. Blindness can be nice, because you can blind creatures, and that gives you... It's sometimes nice to take out an enemy We'll go with Prayer of Healing just for some extra healing outside of combat. Not the most useful, but there's better ones coming along after. So with this, it's really nice to go with where is it here? There's a few different ones that are nice for a cleric here. Alert's always a great one, +5 to initiative. That's never a bad thing to have, especially whenever you want. Let's say you get surprised. It's always good to be. You can't get surprised with alerts. So, ritual caster, spell snipers more so for like a wizard or a sorcerer. Warcaster, that's what we're looking for. Jeez, I don't know why I couldn't see it. The reason we're going to go with Warcaster, not only do you gain advantage on saving throws to maintain concentration, that is huge as you're going to be using a lot of concentrations later on as a cleric. But you also get to use a reaction to use Shock and Grasp to take some targeted moving range, so it's nice to have some reactions to help out, but really the main thing is the advantage on concentration, because we don't want to lose concentration, especially as a cleric, because there's some spells that are super important we don't want to drop. Now, Speak with the Dead is nice, but there's items that give you that, so we're going to take that one off. And for level 3, Animate Dead, no. I like Mass Healing Word. This can replace Prayer of Healing, because it heals all targets in your party, so that's really nice to have, as you can get in some not so great situations, and it's good just to have that healing support. But we want Spirit Guardians here. The reason, it can turn Shadowheart or your cleric into a Beyblade, so these will pop around your character and you can just run through. If you have a lot of low health enemies, you can just run Shadowheart through and she's going to take them all out really quickly. Glyph of Warding is also a pretty nice one to have, but we're going to go with Spirit Guardians. Most fun spell for a cleric, so we'll go with that. Now into level 6, we're going to get another nice boost. We're going to get the subclass feature Blessed Healer. Healing others will heal you as well. So this is actually huge. So when you cast a healing spell of level 1 or higher on another creature, you gain hit points equal to 2 plus the spell's level. So this can help out, because you really want to be getting as much healing out as possible if you're going to waste a turn on healing. So to be able to heal Shadowheart herself, very useful. We're going to take off Speak with the Dead again. Bestow Curse can be decent if you find a usage for it. I like that, or typically Glyph of Warding, which inscribes an arcane glyph on the ground. Basically, it's a mine that you can place on the ground, so it's good. You can be pretty smart with how you use this. I find that Shadowheart's really good for setting up kind of different spells and areas of effects, as you'll see here as we get further down in this video. But next, as we go into level 7, we're going to be getting level 4 spells. So Banish is okay. Freedom of Movement is... it's hard to say which is better here. I'm just going to we'll go with Banishment for this first level, but we're likely going to be switching this around here as we go into level 8. We get more spell slots. We get in action Divine Strike Radiant, which is... It's kind of like being a paladin almost in a sense, so that's a nice one. And for level 3 spells, I'm not going to take Daylight. There's a few different ones we can select here. Animate Dead can be pretty cool, as there's going to be... This kind of turns into a Necromancer almost. It's good, again, just to have someone to hold aggro, similar to the Spiritual Weapon there. And for our feat, Ability Improvement is kind of the best of these, but there's a few different ones throughout here that we could go with. But I think for this level, it's best to just go with Ability Improvement. Take your Wisdom up to 18. Take your Constitution or your Strength up, but you're not going to be attacking much, so we're going to go with Constitution, and that is good there. You can also, should have mentioned earlier, take down your Strength and put it into Constitution, but it's personal choice. Now, level 9 is where the Cleric gets really good. We get level 5 spells. Insect Plague and Flame Strike are 2 crazy good spells. So Insect Plague makes a large area become difficult terrain, so creatures walk slowly through it. It imposes disadvantage on perception checks, and they also take damage, so that's great. Planar Binding's a pretty solid one. Dispel Good and Evil, Contagion are solid, but Flame Strike's another. It brings down a fire from above, and it can deal quite a bit of damage. So, while not being a full-on damage class, there's a couple really useful spells there that we're going to take. I really like Insect Plague, though. There's a couple times in Act 3 where that comes in extremely useful, so we're going to go with that one there. As we get into level 10, we get another cantrip. This is really just whatever you want. Gain advantage on intimidations and performance checks, or Blade Ward. We'll just go with Blade Ward, as it can be cast on other people. And Remove Curse is not a bad spell to have. I should have mentioned that earlier. We're going to stick with that Remove Curse because it is quite useful. As we get into level 11, we're almost near the end here, so we're going to get some more spells, and level 6 spells at that. So Hero's Feast, everyone around you can't be poisoned, diseased, or frightened. Your HP increases and makes wisdom saves with advantage. It can be useful. Planar ally, beseech one of those otherworldly entities for aid. Can be useful. I like Blade Barrier. You make a wall of blades and it does a lot of damage. And it makes difficult terrain. Heal is also a really nice healing spell. Create Undead is another one that kind of is better than Animate the Dead. Harm is great as well as a utility spell, but I really like Blade Barrier just to set up a big wall. I also should mention that I'm using Lathlander's Blessing, or the Blood of Lathlander weapon there. It can be obtained in Act 1. Highly recommend that for Shadowheart. You don't have to make her a light domain cleric, you can just make her a life domain one, like we did in this video here. And as we get to level 12, we can get that final feat. Ability improvement again is a nice one to have. You can pump wisdom all the way up to 20 for increased healing. There's a few different choices as we go through here, but I really do think that the best is probably just to continue on increasing her wisdom all the way up to 20. So there it is, our OP Cleric build. Now as we get into a little bit of the what we're working with, I really like the Blood of Lathlander. That gives you Lathlander's Light, as well as Sunbeam, and Sunbeam can be incredibly useful. I also really like to give her a good shield with Shield Bash, just to give the ability to knock someone prone. And I don't have her fully kitted out in gear right yet, but there it is. That is the Cleric build for Baldur's Gate 3. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button below, and I'll see you in the next video.